I'm going to go jump up, right?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Two Oceans Aquarium. We will be feeding the penguins on the first floor after the frog hall in the River Meander Exhibit in approximately 5 minutes. That is the feeding of the penguins in approximately 5 minutes. Thank you.
They can jump over.
See the younger one.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 and some 12. And then the baby is 13.
They're very sweet, the young ones, aren't they? It's a very good size.
You can't get to that one. Itu kenapa?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Penguin Beach in the eco-sensitive area. We're about to feed these guys here. You can see they're ready to be fed. They were all hoping that one of you would be able to give them something. Our two ladies will be joining me on the beach in a moment. But a few words about these guys before we start. These are African black-footed penguins. They were previously called jackass penguins. They make a noise very similar to the braying of a donkey, but most penguins make that sort of noise, so officially African black-footed penguins. And they're actually very special birds. These African black-footed penguins are endemic to the southern part of Africa. They are found only from Namibia, around Cape Town, as far as Algoa Bay, Port Elizabeth. That's where they are naturally to be found. They have been exported to different places, but this is their natural home. Sadly, their numbers in the last century have declined alarmingly. Roughly 100 years ago, one could say that they numbered in their millions. Today, at last count, a year or two back, something like 60,000. And sadly, we human beings are to blame for this. We have raided their nests, we have taken their eggs, we have killed the birds, we have overfished in the inland waters, forcing them to go further and further out to sea. We have taken their guano where they build their nests. We have polluted our oceans. At the moment, as we talk, there is a ship that is aground near Neisner, and it is leaking oil. And the penguins in that area will be suffering because they will be coated in oil. They won't be able to feed. They'll preen themselves and ingest the oil. So what with one thing and another, we have been responsible for the demise of these guys. On the plus side, on this beach, penguins pair off, and we have a lot of mating pairs here, and they remain true to their mate throughout their normal life. And they, over the last 14 years, have produced over 100 chicks on this beach. Actually, there's one there. You can see one in the middle of that who looks somewhat different from the others. He's what we call a blue. He's about 4 months old. He was born on the beach. Normally, we send our chicks to Sandcob, the Seabird Rehabilitation Center, from there to the penguin colony at Robben Island. So over 100 penguins have swelled the penguin colony on Robben Island. So these little guys are really doing their best. I can see she's really upset with me talking. So I'm going to invite the two ladies to come on. They're the important people. Catherine and Milo will be doing the feeding. And while they're feeding, I'll be telling you what it is they're doing. Now, Catherine's going to feed them, and Milo has a clipboard. All the penguins have names, and as Catherine feeds them, she will tell Milo which one she has fed and what she is giving them to eat. Now, the food might all look the same to you, but we have whole pilchards, we have pilchards with vitamins in them, and then we have half pilchards, sliced pilchards, which we call tails. And depending on what she feeds to the specific bird, Milo will record it on the sheet. This is good husbandry. It enables us to keep records of how much each bird is eating. This is actually their third feed of the day. They're fed first thing in the morning, then again around about 11:30, and this is their third feed. So we'll have a good record by the end of the day how much each bird has eaten. If we find one bird has not been eating well, let's say over a couple of days, that might be a reason for concern, and we would need to look into it, and perhaps our vet would be called in to see what is wrong with that bird. Some of the penguins are going to be eating far more than others. We have chicks on the beach in this nest here. There is a 3-week-old chick, and the parents will be feeding it. They will need to eat a lot more. They regurgitate the food for the chick, and they will keep on doing this until the chick is about 3 months old. At that stage, the chick gets kicked out of the nest and has to fend for itself, which is what that one is doing. The one that I pointed out as a blue, it has to fend for itself. There it is, standing closest to, oh, I was getting a bit too close to the nest. I'll move back. This is Mom telling me I must keep my distance. The birds all have names. You might be wondering, how is it that we can keep a record of how much each bird is eating? If you look closely at them, at their chests, you will see that there are black spots. Every penguin has these black spots. But again, look closely and you'll see that no two birds have the same configuration. The spots will be in different places on each bird. That is their fingerprint. So we're able to differentiate between them, and they have names. They don't know their names, but we name them and we know which bird is which, so we are able to write down how much each bird is eating. These little guys are not very friendly towards human beings. I think they have reason to be very wary of human beings. After all, we haven't been kind to them over the last 100 years or so, and instinctively they will be on the lookout for human beings, and they're not friendly. Unlike their cousins on that beach over there, you will see 4 rockhopper penguins. They have yellow plumage. Very different character birds. They are very, very friendly, lovely personalities. They are not local birds. They come from the islands down in the deep south, Marion Island, Falkland Islands, Tristan. They've arrived on our beaches for various different reasons. We keep them separated, and they are very different kinds of birds. when the ladies have finished here, they will be moving over to that beach to feed the rockies. They are nesting. We don't know how well they'll eat because they're nesting on that beach, but they will certainly try. So if you are swimming at boulders, for example, one of our natural penguin colonies around Cape Town, you will be swimming with these guys. They are naturally to be found down at Boulders Beach, Simon's Town. Don't try to touch them. They'll come right up to you, but don't put out your hand. When they bite, they have a little hook at the tip of their beak, and they'll bite and twist, and they can give you quite a nasty bite. So just keep your hands away. They will come as close to you as they want to. They won't bite you unless you try to touch them. So our natural penguin colonies are to be found on Robben Island, a rather large colony there, Simon's Town, Boulders Beach, and then we have a third one that people can visit along the coast towards Hermanus at Betty's Bay. And then on some of the islands there are penguin colonies, but the three that you can visit, Robben Island, Boulders and Betty's Bay. Now you've noticed when they eat, they swallow that pilchard whole. They don't have teeth, and they have a type of conveyor belt which now enables them to swallow the food, and it is pulped as it goes down their throat. Now this pulped food, it's very easy for them to regurgitate it, for example, when they're feeding their young. We don't know, I think, you can't see whether both mom and dad are in here, but generally one comes out to feed, the other one stays in the nest, and they rotate. They take turns. Very, very good parents. Penguins are excellent parents, but as I say, at 3 months, the chick gets kicked out of the nest. It then has to fend for itself. These guys will never be sent to penguin colonies. This chick here may well be sent, but the others on the beach are here for good. And so we try to make their stay on this beach as comfortable, as natural as possible. You've noticed the waves breaking onto the beach. This is seawater. The rest of this exhibit has fresh water, but this area has seawater. A wave-making machine back there behind that wall. We even have a tidal range here, a lower tide and a high tide. The sandy beach, the rocks for them so that they can breathe. So we've tried to make this as natural for them, knowing that they're going to spend their entire lives here on this beach. The water is necessary for them. They do need to swim every day. They clean themselves, they preen themselves, and they ingest seawater, and in their glands they have the ability to desalinate the seawater. So they can extract the salt from the seawater, which gives them their fresh water that they need for their bodies. If only human beings could do something like that. Folks, when we're finished here, as I said, the ladies will be moving over to that beach over there. There will not be a commentary when we feed the birds on that beach, because largely we would be repeating ourselves, even though it's a different species of penguins. But you're welcome to watch the feed over there when they do move over there. And just a reminder that at 3 o'clock we'll be feeding the fish in the big predator exhibit. Now to get to the predator exhibit, you go that way, through those doors, past the kelp forest, and that leads you to the predator area. So at 3 o'clock that's happening. But if you do want to spend a bit of time in here, look around you. Fresh water on the other side, with high regions, middle regions, a river, and lower regions. Small fish in the high stream areas, middle-sized fish in the middle area, quite big fish in the lower area. and we even have birds flying around.